Sunnyside. It's been a minute since I had a chance to come before you, but there are a few things I'd just like to share with you. A few things I think you just might want to know. First of all, I'd like for you to give me some feedback. Um, if there have been some positive results to some things that I've shared, okay? I just really like to know. Some announcements that are given may not necessarily benefit you, but it just might benefit someone else. So do feel free to pass that information along. Okay? My husband and I have a habit of walking up at Kenneth Hahn Park. And as we were walking, it became evident to us that there are some colors in nature. Okay, we know the color green is really dominant. Okay, but there really is another color there that's there right now. Do you have any ideas of what that color is? Would you believe the color is yellow? The hills are just green and yellow. There are all kinds of daisies. There are all kinds of black-eyed Susans where the center is black, but on the outside it's yellow. All kinds of yellows and golds. And when I think about it, our own brother Willie Phillips used to tell me that if you look at those yellow flowers, if you look at the beginnings of it, you'll realize that that really is some wild mustards that's growing up there. And I find myself tempted. Sometimes I just want to pick up a bunch and cook it, but at the same time, they look like weeds too. All right. So again, if you get a chance, go by Kenneth Hahn Park and just look up, and you'd be surprised at the amount of yellow that appears there. Moving right along. Attention, City of Los Angeles business owners. If you have been in business for at least 20 years, you can apply for the new City of Los Angeles Legacy Business Program. You will have access to exclusive resources that support and celebrate your business. Now, you can receive some technical assistance. You have access to grants and loans. And you know there's a big difference there, grants and loans. You can receive access to capital to support your business. What you need to do is apply free to bit.ly/LA Legacy. Again, bit.ly/LA Legacy. You can also Google LA City Business Legacy Program. The reason I thought about going back and announcing this was I mentioned it to someone at the park, and he was saying that he actually thanked me for it. So hopefully you can receive the benefits of it as well. Again, if you've been in business at least 20 years. Moving right along. On 2 separate occasions, I've made announcements to Sunnyside about a book that's been written by one of our former pastors. The name of the book is The Call, God's Daughters, Empowered to Serve with Love and Compassion by Carolyn A. Cooks. It is published by KP Publishing, and it's available on Amazon for $14.95. Pastor Cooks was called to Sunnyside at a time when churches would not allow female ministers in the pulpit. After serving some 10 years here at Sunnyside, the interim minister was also a female, okay, leading up to our present Pastor Redmond. So again, Sunnyside was somewhat just a bit of the curve. Just be aware of that. The first time I announced the book, There was a brief power outage at church. Okay, it didn't last long at all, and the services continued. And in going back to see how much was televised online, none of the announcements were recorded. So I was just shown, I was just really just thrown back by not seeing that. The next Sunday, I announced the call again, just in case people were not online and that they had missed it, the last week's announcements. So I often will go back and check just to see what did I say during the announcements. So this second time, there was a pause, and then there was this blank space. And it came out just at a time when I was suggesting that perhaps you should go to your local library and try and get the book. I thought that was really quite interesting. I looked on my cell phone and read a message from my cousin saying that my aunt had lost her best friend that morning, and for me not to mention it to her until later on. And I did not expect that call. The service at church on that day was just exceptionally spirited for me. And I felt the urge just to sing louder, to just stand and praise and to clap my hands even if I was the only one. It was as if I was I was just on my own spiritual high. And some of you really know what I'm talking about. When I got home that day, there was a message on my tape with my friend telling me of her mother's death and thanking me for staying in such close contact with her aunt before she passed some months ago. And she told me at the same time that she would keep me posted as to when the final arrangements would be made for her mother. Again, the call. At the library, where I'm a member of the Friends group, I emailed the librarian in order to order the book, The Call, along with the fifth little girl, sole survivor of the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing, the Sarah Collins Rudolph story. The librarian has told me in the past that he wants to order books by authors that reflect the population that actually visit the library. Okay, another call. I have a quilting friend who today is in Houston, Texas, and she went to the homegoing celebration for her son. She was extremely upset because her son died some 3 weeks ago, and her daughter-in-law has yet to make the call to inform her of her son's passing. The call. The call. In speaking with Pastor Cooks about the book, she said that it's about encouragement, it's about faith, and it's about the love of God. She started out writing it for and about women, but feels that it's a source of encouragement really for everyone. She wants it to be an easy read and one that was just written from her heart. Just be aware of that. So in closing out that section about the call, if anyone happens to come across your mind and you haven't talked with them for a while, do stop and give them a call, because just hearing your voice might be the medicine that they may need at that time. This is a period of time between Mother's Day and Father's Day, and some people really tend to come to my mind. I think in particular of 3 families that really have impacted my life. First of all, there's William and Emily Brooks family, my relatives. Then there's the Isaac and Sarah Danner family. And then there's the Roy and Betty Scott family. Sarah, Betty, and William were all from Opelika, Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. Isaac was from Bessemer, Alabama. I'm not sure where Roy was from. Emily, I know, was from Birmingham, Alabama. Emily and William suggested that I finish high school there in Birmingham during the 1960s when Birmingham was known as Bombingham. And there was just all kinds of things that were happening. There was like the Children's March. There were just mass demonstrations. Come to think of it, when you think in terms of what's happening on the college campuses and all today, much of what was happening then is happening now. So time has a way of repeating itself. And at that same year that I arrived, that was also the time of the Watts Rebellion or the Watts Riots. These three couples became my family support shield. For decades, one family would sponsor like Thanksgiving gatherings, another family would sponsor the Christmas gathering, and the other would sponsor the New Year's gathering. Again, it just went on for years. Each household had their special dish, and I remember in Camarillo, the Scots had one of the first Pac-Man machines. So we would have to stand in line, okay, in order to play that. Sarah, okay, the one who recently passed, okay, Sarah was notorious for her wonderful caramel cake. And Isaac would tell you, you guys come on in, but no cake today. There's no cake today. Okay, you know how it is. All right. And Emily was notorious for her German chocolate cake. Okay. And at the same time, her family, our family, would always have these block parties on the 4th of July. Okay. You just really knew that you were surrounded by people that cared for you, people that really loved you. When I got married, the family settings just grew. It just grew. And the support was really there. When we ended up buying our home, one of my relatives said, well, don't be so concerned about the size of your home, but again, just try and buy area. Okay? Make sure that where you are is really where you want to be. And these men, okay, Isaac, Booker, okay, and there was another one named Brother, okay, they all had special skills. My uncle William was the plumber of the group, okay. Sarah's husband Isaac, okay, he was the electrician of the group. And their best friend was a contractor or a builder. So they turned our little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house into really a 4-bedroom, 2 baths, and a den. Okay? And we will forever be indebted for them. And at the same time, with each of their homes, they worked together to do the same thing. With Mother's Day quickly approaching and Father's Day coming also, do know that my family, your family, has been really touched by some wonderful people. And I hope you will actually take the time to really acknowledge that. Give people their flowers. Let them know that you're really grateful for the wonderful things that they have done for you. Give them their flowers while they can still smell them, okay? And let them know that they truly are appreciated. And as I really do close out, I'd like to thank those of you at Sunnyside who took the time to write in a prayer or to write in a word of encouragement to someone, to a mother, or to someone who served as a mother, really, or who served as a father for you. Again, one of the things I am just most appreciative of is the fact that my family was the one that used the word love often. In fact, I can't really think of, as I grew up, us using the word love. But since my brother um, lived with us or lives with us now, he has really taught my sons, whenever they leave, they both say, I love you. I love you. So again, just be aware. Don't hold off on that. And one of the last things I told my mom before she passed was, I love you. My brother and I really love you. And that just went, that just means so much. So before you get to that stage, start letting people know that you really do appreciate them. Praise God.